Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is our third session in the Finance for Travel Agents. Um, I've shared the website that I'm hosting. All the recorded sessions are here, including the intro one that I did about 2 weeks ago. And then the last two, part one, part two, part three will be here probably tomorrow. The way that this session works, this is a one take live session. It's open to everyone. If you know anyone that is interested, please share the website. They can sign up here. I'm sure all of you just that's how you signed up. There's also a way to see it on YouTube directly. Um, with everything on YouTube, again, it's a new channel. If you want to like it, if you want to subscribe it, you're gonna get some more info on it. As I'm going through the information here with the structures, I'm think that once we get to a number 6 and 7, which are more into the market investing, things like that, which are not really for the business, it might take a little longer depending on the level of the people who are watching this. I might need to do a little more extra explaining and show step by step. But I'm actually excited for 7. I'm actually excited. I already opened up a couple of brokerage accounts to start with the process. And again, a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a travel agent, like hopefully most of whoever watches this. Um, I do feel that you need to really look into the business, right? That we are not just salespeople who sell travel or enjoy traveling. We also have a business, right? We're business owners, and you want to make sure that your business is a profitable unit. If you are not selling and making money, then our business then becomes a hobby, and a hobby normally is just not sustainable if you are spending so much time. So we did talk about the business structure in the previous ones, how to pay yourself in terms of commissions. We talked about merchant accounts, how you can collect funds from clients. Please go over those if you have the time or you're interested in the subject. Today, the subject is commissions, cash flow, and profit habits. So, what does it mean? Commissions, cash flow. The way that we work in the travel industry, if some of you are new or some of you maybe are looking to get into the business, when travel agents sell a booking, they get commission. Sometimes, depending on the suppliers, the commission structure, the date of payment is really, it depends, right? Whether you're using one supplier that maybe pays at final payment, maybe one that pays, if it's like insurance, you might get it the following month. Some will pay 30 days after the person returns. Then you, as a business, right, as someone who claims salary and profits from the business, you need to understand the commission structure so you can plan how you can pay payments, right? Pay your mortgage, pay your car bill, pay your everything. We need to have a constant flow of commission that comes in. Maybe you want to focus on maybe last minute travel. If you book last minute travel already in final payment, meaning the commission comes really soon, maybe in a week or two or three, again, depending on how your host pays you. So again, assuming you have the structure, you have a lot of bookings. Let's say you book a lot of families, you book a lot of spring breaks, you book a lot of summer, you book a lot of Christmas. You know commissions come, let's say, after travel. So end of December, for example, January, your host gets the commission. They take a little while to distribute, or maybe you are your own agency and you get the money direct, but you need to create that flow. You need to understand when commissions are paid out for what project, and then when you are paid out. And maybe you have a main advisor and then they have to send the money to you. It's all good, but you have to create a book of business or something like a calendar where you see whether it's through your CRM or a regular just calendar that you can put on the wall and write down when your people are traveling, and then from there you will learn when the commission hits. You have to have a consistency in when the commission comes in. I've been doing this selling travel for over 25 years. We are fortunate enough to have a lot of clients. So every week, every Friday, we get commission. Sometimes it will be 500, sometimes it will be 10,000. But there's always commission, which always means that we have people that are traveling constantly. If you know, you need to know your business to run reports and see when is the peak, when is everyone traveling, or the other way around, when aren't you busy? Like where your January, you have a lot of people going over Christmas, your January is empty, and then your March spring break kind of hits back. So you know you need to focus and fill your January, beginning of February travel. Let's say you focus more on families, right? They travel a lot over the summer. September comes. September is normally the time where a lot of couples or maybe solos will go. Why? Because again, they don't have no families, in general, like the kids, maybe they're empty nesters. They don't want to travel over the summer because it's busy with a lot of kids. You can go on, Princess Royal, cruise lines that are local in Florida and see less kids in September because the kids are back in school. So understanding the trends, understanding, and maybe again, people don't want to go to Europe over the summer because it's too hot. They want to go September. Again, this is a time of year that is catered more to empty nesters, younger couples, again, no kids, couples traveling together for the most part. Similar the other way around with Thanksgiving or Christmas. Normally, it's time where families travel together. You won't see a lot of couples going alone. So if you are selling the, let's say, all-inclusive Mexico Caribbean, if you're selling Virgin Voyages, if you're selling September, go and check the prices. Prices in September are going to be significantly lower for these adults only products because they're less popular for families. You're gonna have again Thanksgiving. You will see, let's say, Dreams and Secrets. You will see the Dreams really full, and Secrets might be a little bit cheaper. So you do need to understand the trends. You do need to understand your business and see where you are lacking because you are getting paid. We have spikes and trends, and if you are getting paid a lot in January for your Christmas travel, this needs to last until April, where after your next spring break travel, again, depending on how your business runs. So really go over, you need to understand your reports. I tell people in my mentorship program to run a few types of reports. One report would be, how much did I book this month or from the beginning of the year? How many people like already traveled from January until, so we're in May. How much did I book in April? How much did I book from January 1st until May 1st? How many people traveled from January 1st till May 1st? How much do I have on the books? How many people that I already booked, maybe booked them last year, maybe booked them last month, but they're still traveling May going forwards. Until you understand your trends and you understand when you're busy and when you're actually getting more money. Okay, because it is important, right? We do sales. Money is part of it. The commission is a big part of it. And it also will help you to know what you want to market and who you want to market to. Depending, again, understanding the trends, depending on your destinations, depending on your clientele, the demographics of who you sell travel to. And when you are promoting things, you want to target the right audience. Get an Excel. If you don't have a database, just start one with an Excel, create one, create groups. These are couples, these are more.
You said you wanted to go to Wells Fargo?
Sorry, I muted someone. If you have a question, please feel free to unmute and ask. But if you are in an area with noise, please mute yourself. Um, so again, understanding your business, understanding your bookings, understanding your commissions is key. We can't just operate our business and just sell travel. And even if you're an independent contractor, even if you're not the agency owner, you still need to understand your commission. This will help you be a better business owner. You are still a business owner, even if you're an independent contractor under a main host or under a host agency. Your entity. That's why I started with the business structure. Because even if you're independent on your own, you still need to be, I recommend that you'll be an LLC. You'll be a separate entity. And then if you need to collect fees directly or the way that you're booking travel, you have an option. And the merchant account and charging the fees can help you increase your commission. The advantage of using a merchant account, just in case you are charging fees, then the day you charge normally, the following day, or depending on how you establish your relationship with the merchant company, you can get your commission in a day or two, next business day, two business days. And commission comes constantly if you are charging planning fees and things like this to supplement your income. Okay. So again, if I'm hoping you have that option, whether through your CRM or through your host. If the host doesn't have um, a report generator, see if you can email them and say, hey, I'm really interested in knowing how much did I book. We all run maybe end of the year. We kind of know our number. I sold this amount in December or, in 2025. But you really want to dig in and run those reports so you can better understand your business. You can then reach out to a specific supplier and say, hey, Virgin Voyages, hey, uh, Secrets and whatever resort that you're focusing on in terms of adults only. I am going to market this around this time of year. I wanted to see if you can maybe participate with me, give me a special promo for our agency, maybe special perks for the first 10 bookings, maybe co-op money, maybe an event that you want to start planning, and get that up and running for your business. Having a niche that you sell a specific destination means you can sell both to, families and couples. Maybe you're mostly doing weddings, groups and weddings are really important understanding again the cash flow and the commission that comes in because you do groups and you can get $10,000 from a group or $5,000 from a group, but it comes again in spikes. We don't have a group traveling every day of the year or every week of the year. And maybe it's time to say, hey, I see that I have 4 or 5 groups a year, and this is good income for me. I need to again increase the frequency, and I see that I don't have a lot of people traveling in October. How do I open I need to open group space, maybe in land, maybe in an escorted tour, maybe I'll build my own. Again, really depends on your niche, or if you don't have a niche, whatever you're selling. Um, Maybe you personally like to travel and do like a travel with me, cruise with me, and things like that because you need more business in October. And when you ran your reports, you know that normally in March you're super busy. That's when you book the most of your trips. So if again you're busy over wave season and you get a good opportunity for a fam, you need to think about it in advance and say, no, I know my business. I know my cash flow or the booking flow. And I'm normally super busy between January and March. I don't want to take a week and a half off during the time where I book the majority of my business because that would hurt me in the bottom line and it would cause me to book less, right? You normally when you're away from the office, even though it's a business trip, you tend to book less. You tend to be less efficient than working and booking while you are, compared to traveling, right? When you're in your office. So really understand, dig into those reports. they're simple reports, but they give you so much content, so much information for you to understand the business. And again, maybe with your bills, maybe is it time, can will I have enough when I'm saving? Or we are going to talk again in chapter 7, start a progress of saving or investing or doing something with the money so it will work for us. We are now in the business and we're constantly marketing, and even word to mouth and business comes back. We are actively booking, actively selling, but we also want to have some sort of revenue, we'll call it, on the side, or money that works for us, right? There's a lot of people who are talking about finance, about financial independence and having the money work for you, and inflation. There were just numbers about how inflation is growing for this month, even further, possibly because of the war, mostly because of the oil prices and all. But you want to make sure that you are prepared, your business is prepared, and you are personally prepared. I'm not estimating another pandemic, hopefully, but we want to make sure that we are financially stable, and we as business owners again understand our flow, understand the business, know it exactly to the point, um, and know how to take it from there. And in terms of profit habits, um, there's a lot of method out there in terms of having itemized budget or knowing exactly where every dollar goes. So you kind of earmark every commission that comes in. Okay, this goes towards my mortgage, and maybe this goes towards my saving for the kids, and this goes to paying some debt, or maybe investing money, or maybe every dollar that comes in needs to have a way to go. And technically, at the end of the month, you're supposed to be zero, technically. Zero means after you've put in savings and after you've put maybe a 401k IRA. We're going to talk about it in a couple of weeks too. But you as business owners have the option to open those retirement accounts or accounts for kids or saving, again, depending on where you are in your business or where you are in your, how close you are to retirement. Um, but every commission that comes in, you need to have it allocated for something. You can't start with, emergency fund, and then a portion of it goes to a 401k or IRA, and some for other type of savings that you're planning to change a car in a couple of years, and one for your fam, and one to possibly create some sort of a program marketing where you're spending some money, you're doing an event, maybe again a fam or a trip for yourself, because most of our trips are for education purposes as well. Maybe you want to experience premium or first class, or a suite on a cruise, or a preferred club with an all-inclusive property. So there's tons of ways where you want to funnel your money, but understanding how much you are going to get. You can't, if you don't know how much money you're going to make next month or in 2 months or even next year based on previous numbers, then you're doing your business a little bit of a disservice because you don't understand your numbers and where you need to go and where you need to take it. Okay. Anyone has any questions? Is anyone building some sort of a budget or know their numbers in terms of reporting? I personally use Vacation CRM as my CRM. We do have an option to run some reports. I'm also with travel planners. They currently don't really have an engine for reporting, but you do have the option to send them an email and say, these are the reports that I want, and they will send them to you in a few days, but there's no real rush. Again, my recommendation to you to write it down and ask for these following reports. Again, how much did I book from January for the first quarter of the year or until May? how many people actually travel that you should be able to get on your own from your commissions that you got? And looking into people that are traveling in the future from, let's say, May 1st or May 12th, which is today, until the end of the year. How many bookings do I have for 2027? You need to understand how much of your business is booked a year out or 2 years out. Are you booking mostly last minute? Last minute is a problem in terms of estimating how much money is coming in, like to get the commission flow. And also, it's something to say to you, hey, I want to try and educate my clients or maybe work and change some of the products where I'm selling a few things in the future. Cruises tend to open about 2 years in advance. Even if you normally don't sell cruises, a good thing to add just for the sake of having things on the book, booking things in advance is cruises. Groups, weddings tend to book a year and a half out, sometimes even more. Again, really helps your business because when I started January 1st and I looked at my 2026 numbers, I'm like, I already have X amount of travel already booked for 2026. This goes along with my goals, right? Business goals. You all should have some sort of goals and how much you want to or how much you need to book in a year or in a quarter or in a week, right? Have goals. Goals needs to they need to be um, realistic. They need to be measurable. So have goals, even if you've just started and having a goal that says, hey, I want by the end of this year, I want to sell $1 million in sales. I also encourage you to start looking at commission, actual profit, and not just sales. But let's say it's easy enough to just look at sales at the beginning. But you are looking at sales, and we're in May. I only sold 100,000, but my goal is 1 million, right? This is normally not a realistic unless I just, I had something. I was sick for the last 3 months, and I just started working. And in the last 10 days, this is when I booked 100,000. So maybe, but you need to adjust your goals, and you also need to make sure that the goals don't have to be sales numbers. It can be, look, for this week, I am going to reach out to 5, 10 clients. In next week or next month, I need to book 5 cruises, 2 all-inclusive, 1 Europe. It doesn't have to be a specific number of sales because you can't control. If someone calls you, you don't know what their budget is. But if you're saying, hey, I need to get at least 2 leads or 2 people that are going to contact me, I need to send at least 5 emails, 2 phone calls, whatever you're comfortable with or you're going to do, you need to set up the goals to help you with the commission. Everything ties together. Okay, we are running a business. We're not just selling travel. Okay. When you are not actively selling travel, you need to be marketing. When you're marketing, you're supposed to get more business. And if you are getting business and you're not closing, you need to understand your qualification. How do you qualify the clients? What went wrong? How do you overcome objections? Everything ties together to sales. I wish we could just say, hey, I love travel. I love traveling. I love arranging travel to people, right? I used to do it as a hobby for friends. Now I want to be a travel agent and do it. For the most part, that doesn't translate. There's a lot more things involved in selling travel. You guys all know that for sure. But there's also a lot in the back office that you need to understand in terms of again, the workflow, the business, the commissions that come in. If you don't know the status, like, we all go or should go to annual checkup. You need to have your business checked out in terms of, again, the reporting. What did I do compared to last year? What did I do compared to 2023? Having all these reports, looking plain with the numbers, will help you a lot. Hey, I'm on a growing trajectory of 20, 30% each year. I can now reach to, I don't know, a specific conference that only accept from an X amount. I can maybe reach out to my host or even another host or a supplier. I see that my numbers with this supplier is growing. Let's reach out. Let's meet up for lunch. Let's see what we're doing. I like the numbers. I like where it's going. What can you do for me to help me increase my numbers? Numbers is everything when you're in a position of sales. Okay. Yes, we're in sales. Okay. We're selling travel. It's different type of sale, right? We're not selling cars. We're not selling insurance, in that aspect. We're selling the fun stuff, but we still need to totally understand the numbers. You don't need to look at the numbers every day, right? But you do need to know your numbers in general. Maybe run them once a month, maybe run them once a quarter, have something automated and just review. Take a couple of, maybe with your accountant, maybe with a mentor, maybe with your spouse, maybe with another fellow agent. Just go someone you feel comfortable with, share the numbers, go over the numbers, understand where your business is going. You want to see if there's a downward trajectory. I'm not booking. Something went down. I don't know. It's quiet. I see a lot of people. Are you quiet? Is it busy for you? Are you? And some people say, I don't know, maybe. Am I? I don't even know my numbers. You need to know your numbers. And that again translates into the commission, the cash flow, and all the information. Does anyone have any question? Is it something that any one of you is doing? If you're here on the live and you want to unmute and ask, if not, you can ask below later. I've also created in our page an option to scroll and write a question. If you have something really interested in hearing some feedback to know what people are thinking. Um, Again, these sessions are 30-minute sessions about a specific subject. Uh, I hope it was helpful for you and hopefully help you grow your business. Join me next week. We are going to talk about taxes, deductions, things like that for specifically for our travel industry. So I hope you guys can join me. Same link that you had before to sign up. Hope to see you there. Bye, everyone.